spoke earlier on to the TWR team, of course, from Jaguar's racing past. Now we find ourselves in Jaguar's racing future with the Jaguar F-Type SVR run by Invictus Games Racing. And I'm joined here with Matt George, who is one of the drivers who races this car in British GT. There are two tiers in British GT, GT3 and GT4, and this is in GT4. And Matt, the season has got underway quite well for you, hasn't it? Tell us about Alton Park, the opening round.
Yeah, so Alton Park, the opening round for us was absolutely phenomenal. Our first year racing was a bit of an R&D year for us, an awful lot of development, an awful lot of changes over the car. But this year we rocked up at Alton Park. We had a really intensive winter testing programme, so we knew we were looking a lot better. Thanks to the Henry Surtees Foundation, we actually managed to do 12 test days this year, which in racing terms is unheard of. And through the guys at David Appleby Engineering, they've all done an absolutely fantastic job, and we've improved the car to a level where in our class in Pro-Am we actually had a first and a second over the weekend, and we've left leading the Pro-Am Championship and third overall, which is, you know, from where we started last year, we rocked up 6-7 seconds off the pace. We're now in a position that none of us could ever have imagined that we would end up in. So yeah, absolutely phenomenal for not just us, from all the guys behind the scene in the team, and also all the people for the Invictus charity, because I believe every single one of them has been touched by our achievement that we've had so far.
Well, we'll talk a little bit about what the charity has done and does in a moment, but just talking about the motorsport for a moment, last year was a tough year, as you mentioned. You had two cars entered in GT4, just the one this year, which has allowed you to really focus on that one car and getting that right. As you say, extensive winter testing, but I saw you at Donington for the media preview, and there was something a lot different this year because you were actually playing with setups instead of fixing stuff that was broken, and that makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, I'd be lying if I said that all of our development has come from the team. To be completely honest, just in making the car go round and actually being on the circuit has given us the time to work on the setup and things that we never had before. I don't think we did a setup change on the car until the third or fourth round last year. So being able to do that before the season even starts has already given us a good leg up.
Absolutely. Well, it's a phenomenal car, Jaguar F-Type. It's got that big supercharged V8 underneath the bonnet, and it sounds like nothing else on the grid in British GT at the moment. The Mustangs try, but they're not as loud as you. It must be a fantastic car to drive, and it's just a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, being a British guy, British heritage car, it's a phenomenal thing to be involved in for me, and you know, absolutely loving every second of it. Like you say, at British GT we are second to none in sound, and I personally think looks, as I'm sure most of you lot here will agree. It's an absolutely stunning car, and we truly are a fan favourite when we get to the circuit, just because of that raw noise, that Jaguar sound that's been missing from racing for so long.
Well, you're a Jaguar Enthusiast Club favourite, and you are the car of choice for us. Of course, you see the Jaguar Enthusiast Club badge on the front wing there. We are sponsoring this car throughout the season this year in British GT. But also you'll find over here in the courtyard the raffle car. This is the F-Type we're giving away. You can win for just £2 a ticket for the raffle. That's also going towards Invictus Games Racing Foundation. Tell us a little bit about the charity behind the Invictus Games Racing team and the special work that you do with injured ex-servicemen.
So we indirectly work with an awful lot of people, but on a direct level we work with 4 guys, injured servicemen, absolutely incredible individuals, from Marines to Paras to RAF, and they're 4 lucky guys that have, unlucky guys, but have now got a really good opportunity to be involved in something again. We have taken them also with a bit of help from Mission Motorsport in the selection process. We've taken them, taught them the basics of racing, and now we've brought them all the way up to what is the most competitive national championship in the world, is fair to say. And you know, as we proved at Alton Park, at a solid level, we're not just turning up to make up the numbers, we're turning up to, you know, really show what we're made of and really show that Invictus spirit of, you know, not giving up, and that you can do anything providing you work hard enough towards it. And you know, me as the professional driver, I'm very lucky in that I get to work with these guys, but their attitude and their determination towards it is honestly second to none. I work with an awful lot of drivers, and these guys are absolutely incredible, and what they've been through to get to this point, you honestly can only imagine. Certainly was really touching for me, and the win at Alton Park was a seriously emotional day, to be honest. From the journey that we've been through, there will be no one else on the grid who has been through what we have, from starting 7 seconds off the pace 12 months ago to now leading our championship. Has been an incredible journey, and it's what the Invictus Games Foundation is all about, is journeys.
Well, that's right. Of course, Steve McCulley and Paul Weiss we've spoken to on the Jaguar Enthusiast Club stand at various shows this year already. Phenomenal stories, and Paul Weiss especially has a really chilling story about how, you know, he was injured by an IED in Afghanistan. It's worth pointing out, of course, that 2 years ago, neither of those guys even had a racing licence, did they?
Exactly. So, I mean, we have really brought them from... Steve actually did a bit of catering racing before, at quite a successful level. But Paul literally had no license, and even for Steve, like, this level that we're racing at now is so high, and that is a journey in itself, getting the racing license, because you have to do 12 races at a certain level and at a certain speed to be able to get the license required to drive this car, and that journey is difficult. I've done it myself. It's seriously hard, and I grew up racing. So for someone who has had absolutely nothing, to get to that point is an achievement in itself. And again, being able to be involved in that has been absolutely incredible for me, and to coach and look after those guys on the way there. And yeah, now to see them doing so well and loving it. You know, we turn up at the races, the atmosphere in the team is second to none. There is no other team in the paddock that has as much fun as we do. But we equally are serious about it, so we want to go racing and we want to win.
Superb. We're all right behind you, Matt, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of the
Thank
season
you very
in
much.
British GT.
Cheers, thank you.
Of course, you can catch up with all of the latest from Invictus Games Racing, Matt, Steve and Paul, through the Jaguar Enthusiast Club magazine and website. We always follow these guys and keep you up to date with how they're doing in British GT this year.